Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
On today's Smart 7, Scotland struggles with drug deaths, the BRICS gather in South Africa, and lots more. It's Wednesday the 23rd of August. It's National Sponge Cake Day, and happy birthday, Sean Ryder.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Scotland is in the middle of a drugs crisis as a new report shows that the death rate from drugs in Scotland is 3 times higher than that of England and the highest rate of any country in Europe. Data shows that over 1,000 people died in 2022. That's down on the previous year, but legendary Scottish author and creator of Trainspotting, Irvin Welsh, says the government has got to take action.
Governments have to get a grip on this, and governments have to realise their power, and they have to start to stop this insidious social engineering that's going on, that's imprisoning people.
The new figures come a year after then First Minister Nicola Sturgeon announced a national mission to stop the epidemic. Chief Executive of addiction charity Favour UK, Anne-Marie Ward, said the situation on the ground is pretty grim.
The lack of help, the lack of access and choice of services, it's, to the families who are desperately seeking help for their loved ones, it's nothing short of catastrophic. That's the only word I could use.
With predictions of a new surge of synthetic opioids on the way, there's an urgent need to make progress on rehabilitation, and groups like the Sunny Bright Teen Challenge have seen a 45% success rate from their residential programme, as Paul Beaton explains.
Our success rate for a Teen Challenge North East Scotland is 45%, which is great, and we're very, very thankful for. So the individuals who come here onto the programme going on to live clean, free, sober lives.
We hear a lot about the G7 economic group, but not as much about its southern hemisphere-based counterpart BRICS. It's composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, and its combined GDP rivals that of the northern hemisphere G7. BRICS leaders began a summit in South Africa on Tuesday, which was addressed remotely by Russian President Putin, who didn't travel because of the outstanding international arrest warrant for war crimes in Ukraine. South Africa's ambassador to BRICS is Anand Suklali, and he says the aim of the summit is to demonstrate the power of the alliance as it looks to expand.
The world is changed dramatically since we founded the United Nations system and the WTO. All of these institutions need reforming, and we are saying that the reform process must take into account the position and voices of the global south.
Russia's war in Ukraine has caused tension in the alliance, and Ukrainian MP Kira Ruddock says they'd like to see more support for the member countries of the group.
Ideally, we would want BRICS countries to start sending us weapons and to support us, but we also understand that this is unlikely, and so the minimum plan would be to have them involved and at least do not help or support Putin.
There's good news if you happen to be from an economically disadvantaged area but still fancy being Prime Minister one day. That's because the government is set to open the new academically selective free schools for students aged 16 to 19 in a partnership with Eton College. The question for Education Secretary Gillian Keegan when she popped up on LBC was whether or not this is just a rebrand of the grammar school model.
They're not grammar schools by another name. I mean, they're 16 to 19. I suppose they're like a sixth form college, really. All of them are selected to some extent.
Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer was also focused on education. He says he couldn't have afforded to attend university in today's economy, but he scrapped plans to bin tuition fees and instead wants to get the UK's economy moving.
We need to absolutely get to grips with the cost of living crisis. That means strong action on energy and not just sticking plaster. It means pushing the economy forward so it grows in all places. There's been a sharp rise in transphobia and homophobia across the United States, with right-wing media fueling a trans panic that has seen anti-trans legislation brought in by various states. There's also been a backlash against corporate sponsors for involvement with Pride Month, and now matters appear to have escalated even further. Laura Ann Carlton was shot and killed outside her business in South California over the display of a pride flag outside her store. The man suspected of killing her was later shot by police. Her daughter Ari spoke to CNN about her mother and her determination to support the LGBTQ community.
she was so fearless, and any negative reaction, she just powered through. The flags had been torn down before by different individuals, and she always went and ordered an even larger flag in response and put it up. So I admire her, and I'm so proud of her, and I know that she passed standing up for something that she believed in.
So to come on the Smart 7, the Lionesses have a legacy, and we've got an award-winning joke.
Right after this.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Welcome back.
Tuesday saw England's Lionesses arrive home after a runner-up finish in their first World Cup. There was good news though for women's football after the success of the World Cup campaign, as the National Lottery have announced they're going to invest £15 million over the next 4 years to help develop women's football. Hopefully that'll cheer the team up, and former England women's captain Faye White says it's the legacy that the team have created that's most important.
Since the Euros, over 200 clubs have formed due to the funding from the National Lottery as well, and that's the biggest impact, which they know. Yes, they haven't got the trophy, but equally that is a big reward as well, that they're inspiring young girls to take up the game and have better opportunities.
The Edinburgh Fringe Festival has just wrapped up, which means it's time for the Funniest Joke Award. It's an annual competition sponsored by TV channel Dave, and here's this year's winning gag.
I used to date a zookeeper, but it turned out he was a cheater.
Sounds more like a dad joke than a Dave joke. Our favourite joke came from one of the runners-up, South London comedian Siska, who says, when women gossip, we get called bitchy. When men do it, it's called a podcast. The originator of the winning joke, Lorna Rose Treen, told BBC Breakfast she was a surprise to anyone.
It's such a silly joke, and I think every year a real Christmas cracker style joke wins. So it's just such a privilege.
There's nothing better than a good burger, is there? Well, there might be. They're making a Good Burger too. In case you're not a student or a 90s teenager, Good Burger was a 1997 Nickelodeon movie that turned into a cult classic. Now, 26 years later, Keenan and Kel are putting back on the aprons and the hairnets and getting ready for a sequel. It'll be ready for collection on Paramount Plus in November.
Hey, Dex! Hey, man. You almost car-burgered me to death. The new adventures of Ed and Dex starts now! Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can we take your order?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
At Bombas, we make socks, underwear, and T-shirts that feel good and do good. They feel good because they're designed with the softest materials and comfort innovations. They do good because for every item you purchase, we donate another item to someone who needs it. So far, we at Bombas have donated over 100 million items, and your purchases add to that impact. Go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.